Hey everybody, Brian Boyle here, and welcome to episode 158 of The Mesh Tongue. It's a Saturday. Hopefully you've got some big plans for the weekend. If you haven't already run, maybe you're going out for a run later today. But yeah, let me know what's going on, man, and woman, I guess. Hey, send me an email, Brian, BRIAN, at company5k.com. That's the number 5k, like the race.com. I'll be happy to get you those questions and answers. If you've got specific questions, if you just let me know what's going on this weekend, if you let me know what races you got coming up, that I'll help support you in any way we can, and give you shouts out, and hey, the only way we can all get better is if we share. So I'm always learning, and hopefully you are as well. And obviously the fact that you're here at these videos, it is testament to the fact that you're trying to learn. So today I want to talk to you about repeats. We've talked about intervals before, but one of my favorite workouts is a mile repeat, and this is really good for those longer distances. And if we think about the longer distances, I'm going to talk probably now about half, so 13.1 and above. Although I do like these for 10Ks as well. And 5Ks can certainly see some benefit from this. I was, my high school coach was of the mindset that we were all going to just run miles, quarters, halves, and then just long, slow distance, and we didn't ever run more than 15 miles a week, 20 miles a week at absolute. Our high was 20 miles a week, and running sub 17 in 5K, and you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty solid. Could we have done better? Absolutely. By a little higher mileage, 30 to 40 miles a week, we would have probably done even better, but it is what it is. So, mile repeats. So why mile repeats? Well, for one, if you're using the mile repeat as a way to increase your race pace, that's where I really like these. Now, why the race pace? Well, sure, you could go faster, and I have done this. And I don't necessarily recommend it. We used to go out and we would do a workout that was 3 by 1 mile. We would race Saturdays. We'd have Sunday for long, slow distance, and then Mondays would be our repeats. And so we would go jog like 2 to 3 miles, then we'd go down to a park near Lake Cayuga in upstate New York, and we would do a cross-country course, and it was a mile loop. So you'd go out and run through the woods a little bit, jump over a log, and then come back. And we'd hit like 5:01 for the first mile. We'd hit like 4:52 for the second mile, and then we'd be like mid 4:40s for the third mile. And then we'd go run, a couple miles to cool down, and that was it, because we'd already run 4 miles that morning. So doing 2 days, but that was a pretty regular Monday. You knew what to expect. You knew that you were going to be running mile repeats. Now, interestingly enough, what none of us were actually doing in that 8K course when we were out running 5 miles was actually running 4:52, 4:46 miles. We just weren't doing it. So was it good in one sense to say, yeah, we were running a little bit faster, it was building our conditioning? Yeah, and then what I found out later was that if I did the same workout and I did 5 miles, okay, and I was looking to hold it at race pace. So if I said, hey, you know what, I can go out and do 5 miles at a 5:12 or a 5:15 pace, and hold that, then, let's see, can I get my times lower? Can I drop out of the 28, 27 minutes down to the 26, 25 minutes? And absolutely for an 8K. Same thing, 10K, start dropping down, so you're, whatever it may be. Now, to start off with 1 mile is sometimes very difficult. So how you would do that then is if you say, hey, what is 1 mile broken down onto the track? Well, that's a 400, so you can start with quarters. So a workout of 20 quarters or 2400s, and then what you would end up doing is from that 2400s, want to say a 15 or 30 second rest cycle depending on where you're at. You can then build up to going from 2400s to 10 800s, okay, and then to 5 by 1 mile. And build yourself up over a macro cycle, and that's also a very good thing. So, and sometimes we would just work on quarters. Sometimes it was a matter of it would just be a matter of just going out and running quarters. And so I like to have a lot of the athletes that I coach, now do these workouts the same. But what I've done is adapted to race pace. Okay, so if my goal pace is a 6-minute mile, well, guess what? All right, what we're going to do is we're going to do 90-second quarters. All right, and we're going to give you a little rest because you might be running on a long, slow distance day. You might be averaging 6:45 to 7 minutes for your just easy day, and then you may be going to run 6-minute mile for a race or a 5-minute mile, and so you just break that up into what does that quarter look like. Give yourself a little bit of rest break, okay, and then you start building that lactate threshold of you going a little bit beyond the aerobic into a little anaerobic, but you're just training your body, you're conditioning your body to actually maintain that pace. So really good, really good. The caveat with all of this is you've got to have a base of mileage. You can't just jump in. So if today's your first day of running, disregard any of this information. This is for somebody that's already had a base of at least 3 months of running. You feel like you've got a good rhythm. Your intensity is building a little bit. And this is even 3 months of uninterrupted running. So somebody could be running for 10-15 years and may have just come off an injury. So you'd want about 3 months, about that 10 to 12 weeks of uninterrupted running, where you can then start building your speed and getting into things like 2400s, 10800s, and again, all that race pace. And the nice thing about going out on the track is if you've got a known distance and you've got a known time frame that you say, hey, this is my race pace, this is what I'm shooting for. Dr. Jack Daniels talks about in his running formula. He can go off of your latest VO2 max, so he gives you all the whole diagram in that. That's certainly one way to do it as well, but just bare bones, if you just say, hey, what was my last 5K time, all right, or my last race time, I can then compare that to that. So that's why sometimes the races in the macro cycle leading up to your big race will give you just a training effect. So you don't need to go out and kill them, but saying, hey, you know what? Okay, where am I in this? Can I get my race pace down? So you use those 5Ks, 10Ks if you're training for a half marathon. Use the half marathon to train for the full marathon. And so on and so on. Use the full marathon to train for a 50 miler. Whatever it may be. Key with all of this, though, is you got to have a base layer of training. You don't want to injure yourself. Once you have that base layer of training, then you can progress. This is more of an advanced workout routine. Keep that in mind when you're doing this. If you're having any sort of injury, I would back it down. If it's your first time, the other thing you need to watch out for is that a lot of time the tendency is to go out and hit it as fast as you can. So if you're not used to running on a track, if you're not used to pacing yourself, you may want to just do quarters on a treadmill, and that way you can kind of pace yourself, because it is tough. It's tough. You get a little adrenaline, you're well rested. That first one, you come out and you just smoke first mile, and you're like, dude, oh man, that was awesome. It was great. And then it's like, well, I got 4 more miles to go. Shoot. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're around within 3 to 5 seconds, even with a little bit of an adrenaline boost. And as you get better, you'll be able to judge. You'll be able to say, oh, yeah, okay, I can speed up, slow down, whatever, based on just how you feel. So that's it for today, episode 158 of the Mesh Tongue Mile Intervals. I love them. Hopefully you are well. Please, whatever you do, don't go hurting yourself to come back. But please share this with your friends, your family, your training partners. Check out runpainless.com. Again, we've got the Wasatch Mile coming up in downtown Salt Lake, September 14th of this year. It's a Thursday night, the only Thursday night race in Utah. Especially September. September is a great time of the year. The sun's going down, but it's still light out about 8:15, 8:30. The sun's gone down. It is still nice and cool, but not freezing cold. That's another nice thing about it. And it's the fastest mile that we've got in Utah. So check out the Wasatch Mile, also the Company Cup 5K. I'd love to have you come on out and join us. Absolutely. Going to be a blast. And without further ado, we'll see you again next time. Thanks for checking it out. See ya.